This storm will kill you.
Look! I'm telling you! You know what I mean,
But
folks?
if rich people aren't looking out for us, who is?
It makes no difference which one of us you vote for. Either way, your planet is doomed.
You're listening to the Our Take Podcast with Brian Sherman.
He had a full head, all the way till the end. It was white, and I was hoping to get that. I was hoping to get, like, the full head, and it was really hard to cut it off.
And Spencer Rogers.
To be a good pilot, you have to be able to make good decisions. And I know what my credit score is, so I know I don't make good decisions.
This is the Our Take Podcast.
From Scary Parrot Media Studios in Ogden, Utah, it's the Our Take Podcast, episode 103. I'm Brian.
I'm Spencer.
Welcome to the show, Spencer.
As you can see, we still have our A10 bullets from last week.
Yes, I have one right here.
They are everywhere.
Can't get it all the way in.
I've been using mine
Hey,
for things.
first, you can find us at the Our Take Pod on Facebook, Instagram, Twitter, and most importantly nowadays, TikTok. And, of course, the
Apparently.
OurTakePodcast.com, where you can watch the episodes and watch me gag on this. Watch me gag on this.
On what?
Well, we were talking about that A10 rounds per second talk. We're up to like 20,000 views on TikTok.
We are.
So thank you to everybody who watched and liked and commented.
I thought it was a good segment.
For sure.
My dad watched it like 100 times after I gave him the present.
Really?
Yeah, he probably accounts for, 10,000 of the views.
Hey, as long as our algorithm gets up there. So if you haven't already joined us on TikTok, we're really the only account that you should follow.
Yeah, I guess. I got to say that I was a latecomer to TikTok, and I
Right.
downloaded it on, I guess, Thursday last week. And between now and last Thursday and now, I probably spent 16 hours on it.
Yeah. Well, and to be fair, we're both really late comers.
Yeah.
To
Yeah.
we're too old to be on there, really.
No, that's not true. A lot of the people I see are old.
I know, but the kids these days think that you have to be born after 1995 to qualify.
That still makes them like 30, doesn't it?
No, I'm at 25.
25.
Yeah.
Mm.
But we were talking about perhaps making the good replica like you made and selling that stuff on Etsy.
My dad's gonna give me his. He's gonna bring it up next time.
Nice.
His real one.
Not on Etsy. Well, on Etsy and on our website, theourtakepodcast.com.
You know what's, as I look at my phone here, so as you may or may not know, I run a side hustle because I don't make enough money at work.
Right.
Selling posters. And I don't know, I provide great customer service. I really do.
Yes.
Like I've gone out of my way to do things for people. But the one thing that kind of drives me nuts is when people message me about shipping. And I know that that's the first place they probably go, but they get the tracking number. And
Like they're messaging you to see where their stuff is?
right.
Oh.
And I'm like, I have the same stuff you do. Like, I don't have any back door to the freaking USPS.
Right.
And everything was late this year. So I'm sorry you didn't order on November 2nd to get it on time.
Right. You need to have a disclaimer next year.
You know what's been so weird, too, is some of the packages have been getting there super fast, and some of them have been getting there. They haven't got there yet.
I dropped off a package for Mark, who listens to the show,
Uh-huh.
a shirt
Yeah.
and a stress ball I sent him.
Uh-huh.
Dropped it off at the mail. I want to say it was like a Thursday at like 2 p.m.
Right.
And he messaged me the next afternoon, said, thanks for the package.
Yeah. Sometimes it's like that.
Less than 24 hours.
But I've had one that was going from Connecticut to New Jersey that still hasn't got there, and it shipped on the 8th.
Your
Yeah,
stuff's made in
but
Connecticut?
I had one that shipped the 22nd to Canada and got there the 24th to Canada.
Well, Canada's got, they got the, I don't know what. They still deliver on horses.
Is that what it is? That help?
The Mountie.
I don't know.
By the way, it is December 27th, 2020.
Is it?
On this day in history, ooh, that's interesting, anesthesia was used for the first time during childbirth. Guess the year. This is amazing.
Childbirth?
Yeah, anesthesia used for childbirth.
1892.
Oh, you know what? It's 1845. But I wouldn't have gone back that far. I guess I just didn't think about
Well, define anesthesia. Was it just like a bottle of gin, or
Let's look.
like
it. Dr. Crawford W. Long, an American physician,
probably
gave,
heroin?
gave ether
Yeah.
to his wife during the birth of their second child. The event revolutionized the use of anesthesia in medicine and surgery.
Doesn't ether just like knock you out?
I don't know. No, it's like chloroform.
Oh, yeah, right. That's what I was
I don't know.
thinking of.
Let's see. What else happened here? In 1831, on this day in history, Charles Darwin began his journey on the HMS Beagle. It was during this 5-year-long
That
voyage
is a terrible name.
that the English naturalist worked on his theory of evolution. He published the evidence supporting it in 1859 on the origin of species.
Never name your boat after a puppy.
Right.
Do it like our friend Ethan. Remember, he has doctor friends who went on a boat together, and they called it the consult or medical
The consult.
the medical consult. And so
Yeah.
they anytime they're gone, the people could just say he's on consult.
He's on consult.
Yeah.
Yeah.
So Christmas just happened, as you know, 2
Yes.
days ago. Today's the 27th.
Merry-
Christmas is typically on the 25th.
Merry Christmas, by the way.
Yeah, Merry Christmas. I guess it's over. How was
alive in
it?
your heart.
How was it?
Honestly, it was kind of rough because
Really?
because Quinn, she's 4,
Right.
and during this whole quarantine,
Mm-hmm.
we've kept in contact with my parents and her family
Mm-hmm.
as in our circle.
Ashley's family, not Quinn.
Yes, Ashley's family.
we kicked her out. Quinn, she's been quarantining all by herself.
So she was super excited to go to Grandma and Grandpa's, and then she got a cold on Christmas Eve.
Oh, really?
Yeah.
Oh, that sucks.
And we don't know what it is. Not to
Right.
mention, it's just kind of a rude thing to do anyway.
Well, I mean,
My dad has pancreatitis.
right.
And then then I had a little bit of a scare.
Huh.
On the day after Christmas,
Right.
in the morning, I got her
Just yesterday, right?
Yeah, I got her some chocolate milk. Maybe
Yeah.
it was Christmas. I can't remember. And she came and sat by me. We were watching TV, and I mix in like Ovaltine. That's what we do to make her chocolate
Okay.
milk, right?
Yeah.
She's like, "You didn't put any chocolate in this.
Uh-oh.
It tastes too watery." And my heart sunk. I'm
Like-
like, "It's just COVID," you know.
She's got the vid.
And so, a few hours later, I got Ashley some peppermint essential oil. So I just walked up to Quinn. I'm like, "Hey, smell this. What does it smell like?" She said,
Oh.
"Minty." So
Oh,
I don't
good.
think she has it.
You just really sucked at mixing it that day.
I did. I put in 3 scoops.
Did you get anything of note for Christmas? I don't know. I don't know what
I mean,
regular adults get, but I still see myself as a terrible child because I'm poor and
Actually-
but yeah, I mean, I expect a decent gift from my parents.
yeah, I got a good gift from my mom. I'll show it after the break because it's upstairs. It's a cross stitch that she had hanging in her room that her grandma made. That is the Pledge of Allegiance.
Oh,
It's
that's
actually pretty freaking cool.
Yeah, that's super cool. If I got that, I'd be super stoked.
It doesn't have "Under God" on it. I'm just kidding. And then Ashley,
It's
with
the
the help
Thomas
of
Jefferson
you,
got
got me this new microphone
Oh yeah,
so people can see my face.
that's lovely.
Because before you could only see my cheeks and they're constantly
Well, that's
round.
what I like. I get that. I like to hide.
Right.
I got a new Apple Watch because my other one bit the dust several months ago.
Do you have good rhythm? Good EEG rhythm? Have you not used it?
Sorry, what? I don't know that this one has that. I got the SE because I didn't want my parents to have to spend too much money.
Oh, gotcha. I don't know what.
I don't know.
There's so many.
Honestly, it doesn't feel any different than my last one, which
Is the
was
screen a little bit bigger?
I think so. I think this is 44 millimeters, and my last one was 42.
Well, it was on. I still have the 3. I don't have it on, but the screen the display didn't go all the way to the edge.
Oh yeah.
So the display, even the watch is the same size. Physically, the display's bigger.
I will say, and this is probably nothing to do with the watch, but the new faces they have, the modular faces are really cool.
You can put more.
I got altitude on here.
That's pretty
I'm
cool.
at 4,600 feet right now.
Is it how accurate is it? Can you raise up? A
Yeah.
foot?
It says plus or minus 40 feet is what
Oh.
But it did go up and down as I went up and down the stairs the other day. So,
Well, there you go.
yeah, and my mom, my mom always buys me a toy or something,
Sure.
and it's normally something that I'm just like, okay. So this year I put something on my wish list to bait her into, to getting it. And it was this Lego Creator International Space Station.
I saw that on your wish list.
Oh, did you? You
Yes.
looked at my wish list, huh?
I did. I didn't get you anything.
Well, that's kind of. I looked it over and.
Yeah, because I think I stumbled upon it because I was looking. I would do anything except spend $800
Whoa.
on a legit Apollo.
Oh well, that's your problem because I actually saw one. There is one that exists, but it's like $1,100.
They're so expensive.
and
Unless
it's
the Lego.
freaking cool. Well, the Lego one, that's like
And the Lego one's okay, but it's still Lego. I want a legit.
I don't know. The Lego one would be fun to build though.
It would.
There's a one that Bandai makes, and I don't think they make it anymore, but you can buy it on eBay, and it's really sick.
I just thought, like, if NASA were just a little bit smarter than they are, they would put this. They would have.
They're
models,
engineers, not toy makers. They're not business people.
but you have replicas on their
So
website.
some of these are $1,700, but
Yeah.
it is a really cool.
I want it to come apart so you can
yeah,
see
this
that
one does, and it's
Yeah.
super detailed.
pull the lem out.
It even has little astronauts.
Like to scale. I think I've seen that one.
Yeah.
Anyway, you were telling me about the ISS model that you had.
Oh
on
yeah.
there.
Anyway, I'm waiting for a day when I'm incredibly bored to build it.
Oh, you actually got it.
Yeah. Oh yeah.
right on.
Sorry, that's what I.
Right on.
But yeah, it was fun. Parents came over. I didn't have to go down to Provo. That was nice. So.
Yeah.
One thing I did notice this Christmas that I guess I haven't noticed before, that I don't know why it annoys me, but it does, and it's the matching PJ pictures.
That's the thing.
I didn't know when that happened, but I kid you not, I pulled up Instagram and there were 4 different people, 4 different families,
Right.
but they all in a row, and they all had the same PJs.
Oh, so they
The
weren't just
flannel, like Al Borland, freaking.
so they weren't just matching their family. They were matching.
No, well, no. I mean, that was just a coincidence.
Right.
None of these people knew each other.
So you unfollowed all of them, I assume.
No. When did it become a thing? Was it,
I don't know.
Was it recent? Am I just now noticing it?
So Ashley's family has always done like new pajamas that you open on Christmas Eve when they were kids growing up.
Okay.
But maybe it was just bottoms. They weren't necessarily matching.
Hmm.
It's probably like Old Navy probably started it to make sure they sold enough.
Right. Well, now that you can post it on Instagram,
Right.
I don't know. It just felt there was nothing like that when I grew up. And frankly, if people were to wear matching pajamas, according to what I wear, we would all be just in underwear, just
Right.
boxers,
Right.
maybe if they're lucky.
Right.
I'm
I
gonna
mean,
take that picture.
my family, we didn't have matching pajamas growing up, but
Mhm.
my mom did sew us our own clothes, and they matched
Yeah, my mom did that a couple times
for
too.
like family
I
vacations.
was very glad when that
yeah.
phase was over.
So we were in Disneyland, all in like
Yeah.
bright orange and white stripes.
Right, of course.
Yeah. My
Yeah.
poor dad.
Yeah. Yeah. I can relate to that. That
Yeah.
was Well, yeah. So a good Christmas, not too bad,
Breaking news here.
Yeah.
Looks like Trump is going to sign the stimulus government spending bill after all. Probably because I think they had a veto override majority. I can't remember what laws are being passed right now, but it ends the shutdown and will probably send out the
Now,
checks.
if you would have asked me last week, I can't remember. Had the bill been passed by the House and Senate by the time we talked last week?
No, I don't think so.
Okay. Well, if you would have asked me the day that they passed it, I would have been like, "Oh, good. Let's do this."
Right.
But as time wore on and I found out more about the bill, I became quite disenfranchised with it, and I found myself actually agreeing with Donald Trump's veto. Because it's a bit ridiculous. It's 5,600 some odd pages,
Right.
and it's not just stimulus. There is a ton of crap.
A lot of pork.
And I think what bugs me the most is my 4 least favorite people in Washington are the ones that put it together. And I just,
Well,
I wish they would go back and kick all that crap out and just make
Well,
it a stimulus bill.
here's the problem. This is a little bit misleading, right? This is actually a funding bill.
Right, right.
This is the government budgetary funding bill that got the name COVID relief package because that was involved in it. Now, I totally agree that they should just have a COVID relief bill standing alone.
Right.
Absolutely. No problem. But to be fair, quote unquote,
Mhm.
that's what this was this is the spending bill to keep the government running.
I just,
So-
I really don't like the practice of throwing things into a bill because no one's going to read it all or won't even be able to read it all.
That's not necessarily why they throw it in. So if you are the majority or minority whip
Uh-huh.
in the House or the Senate, it's your job to figure out what needs to be in the bill for someone to sign. So let's say I'm the whip and you're a representative.
Uh-huh.
You represent Utah's 1st district.
Mm.
And you say, I'm not signing that.
Okay.
And I say to you, what would you need in that bill for you to sign it,
right.
right? And then they say, I need $100,000 for this thing in my district or to support this cause. That way when re-election time comes, they can say, I got this done.
Right.
So as the whip and as these legislators come together, that's what all that stuff inserted is.
Yeah, well, it's
It's dumb.
a bunch of horse crap,
Yeah.
and I don't like it. You remember Schoolhouse Rock,
Yeah.
the bill? He was awfully skinny. I think they need to retool it with the bill that's like barely able to climb Capitol Hill. He's just like
Right. I think what's interesting about this bill, hopefully it's a law soon, is the amount of stimulus for citizens
Uh-huh.
is so small. It's embarrassing. It's quite disrespectful.
Right.
$600.
Did you see the Facebook post of, or maybe it was on other things too, of who's it Sarah McLachlan that does all the
Yeah.
kids
Yeah.
like for $1.24 a day you can support an American
Right.
family for $600 a year.
Right. No, it's incredibly disrespectful. That is the amount that rich people think is a lot to poor people, I guess.
Yeah, I guess.
But here's where I find it fascinating because Republicans and especially libertarians like Rand Paul
Mm-hmm.
don't want any stimulus in there.
Right.
And so that's why it got to the $600 mark.
Mm-hmm.
That's why that was the compromise. One of the compromises Democrats made was, okay, we'll take a lower stimulus for the people.
Mm-hmm.
And then what did Trump do?
Trump upped it. He wanted $2,000.
He tried to up it to $2,000. He got on video at Mar-a-Lago, released a video that he and simply Mark Meadows, his chief of staff, no one else knew about this video,
No.
saying this is ridiculous. We should pull out all this extra spending for foreign aid and also give the American people $2,000. Now, you're Mitch McConnell.
Mm-hmm.
What position does that put you in? The president just asked us to give more money.
Well, it must have been a position that he wasn't too worried about anymore because they vetoed it. They didn't even consider it.
No. So, I mean, it's the Nancy Pelosi and AOC, I want to say, brought it up in the House.
Yeah.
I can't remember if it passed the House or not. No, it didn't, because they went for unanimous consent and it didn't go. Either way, a couple Democrats tried to get it to go. It would have been awesome. And frankly, it's not that much more money compared to this $900 billion bill to give people $1,400 more.
Right.
But, I mean, Canada's been getting $2,000 every 2 weeks or something since the pandemic started, their citizens. But I was thinking about that horrible position that Mitch McConnell's in now, where the leader of his party, Trump,
Mm-hmm.
is saying we need to give more money, which is a very non-Republican thing to do.
What?
So, I watched Trump's speech and I'm like, I don't disagree, man. You know, we should give more, and we should definitely take a look at foreign aid and find out where it's beneficial
Yeah,
and where it's not.
I do think that's weird that we're siphoning all this foreign aid, and
I mean, it's been that way since.
I know.
yeah.
I just I don't know. I get torn on that kind of stuff.
Oh,
'cause,
for sure. I totally get torn on it. You know, and Trump, he made a good point. I think it was on Twitter where he said, you know, foreign aid to a country like I don't know, Pakistan,
Mm-hmm.
they'll buy weapons with that money from Russia.
Right.
You know, I'm like, I don't know if that's true, but it probably
It
is.
sounds true. It sounds legit enough.
Why wouldn't they?
They are in a wait. No, they were in a deal with Russia to build a fighter jet. I learned the other
I think
day.
the long story short here is that a simple COVID relief bill is what we needed. However,
Right.
they needed to do a funding bill to keep the government running.
Right.
And Trump actually just didn't even sign it or veto it. Which
Isn't that called a pocket veto?
I don't know what the name is, but by law he has to do one or the other within, I want to say, 10 days.
Right.
And if he doesn't sign or veto within 10 days, it just goes into effect. So
Oh, really?
he uses that little limbo, because inside that limbo the government could shut down
Right.
for 5 days.
Right. Well, I thought that it was a new Congress could take over.
Good. I don't think he has the time though. I can't remember the length of time. I could be
I don't know.
wrong.
That's what the pocket veto was, I think, and it gave enough time to
To let the new Congress come in. So
yeah.
if the Senate
Which
has
how does that work? Since the vote isn't the new Congress takes effect on the 8th, I think, or 7th, but that runoff is on the 5th. Is it just that gonna
So-
that quick?
let's look here. I think the new Congress gets sworn in on the 5th. Let's see. Do Congress? Yes, of course they do. First day of the new Congress. Oh my gosh. Congressional leaders plan convene at noon on the January 3rd. Whatever. We're not going to know the winner of those two Senate races until after the new Congress is sworn in.
Right.
There's no way. I guess anything's possible, but they meet obviously before the Electoral College submits its final votes to the vice president. But
Right. Which is Trump's last play apparently.
so your
but
question is, if the new bill gets held until the new Congress, I believe they would need to re-vote on it.
I guess, but
I don't know how that
it-
works actually.
it wouldn't help if unless the Georgia runoff people
Yeah.
won and were
Right.
yeah. Well, anyway, regardless, we're probably going to get $600.
Hopefully
and
next
I'll
week.
probably save it this time instead of spending it all.
Which is like what they don't want you to do.
Yeah, I know,
whatever.
but that's I'm going to stick it to them.
It's such a small amount of
you,
money.
man.
I can't it's embarrassing. Richest country in the world.
Well,
Beacon of liberty.
that's how we became the richest people in the world.
we tax the
because
shit out of you and don't give you anything
did
back.
you see that illustration I sent you?
Oh my gosh, yes.
We didn't even put that on the rundown.
I shared it to Facebook as well.
That was crazy, right?
It is a 2-scale web page that is just a horizontal bar graph of wealth, comparing millions to billions, then to trillions. And I did it on my phone, and it took me scrolling with my thumb as fast as I could, like at least a minute to get to just how rich Jeff Bezos is.
It took you only a minute.
I mean, I was flying.
It kept going. It was
Yeah.
crazy.
Because you and I have talked a lot about the representation that none of us comprehend
Right.
how much $1 billion is compared to $1 million or compared to anything.
Right. And
And-
then how much 200 billion is compared to.
What's that website?
I
I'll
don't
go
know,
back to
man.
our
I don't know. I
messages.
have to go back on Facebook and look.
And this is one of the things we've talked about a lot, because we feel like conservatives don't want to tax the super wealthy,
Mm-hmm.
because deep down they think that, maybe not even deep down, they think that someday they can become that.
I guess. You
And-
know, I just with seeing that wealth, oh, there it is right there. Did you find it?
I found it. Yeah, I'm gonna put it up on the
With
screen.
seeing that scale there, the first thing that came to my mind was, why does anyone at Amazon make less than $60 an hour?
Right.
I mean,
Yeah. Okay. So I'll put this up on the screen and I'll try and put it on TikTok. So this is wealth to scale. So as I scroll to the right here, that little pixel is $1,000. This square pixel is the median U.S. household income, $63,000. This slightly bigger square, which on my screen is probably, I don't know. I'm looking at a 15-inch monitor here. It's maybe half an inch by half an inch. That's $1 million. And then goes to $1 billion. It's already filled my screen. It's so many of those little squares.
it's crazy.
And then the next thing is the wealth of Jeff Bezos. And it actually puts a ticker down here for $80 million as each one of these ticks. It looks like a ruler. And you can I'll just start going here. If you look at the bottom right, you can see the cursor. It's these pulling up little messages that say, we rarely see wealth inequality represented to scale. This is part of the reason Americans consistently underestimate the relative wealth of the super rich. As you scroll, it goes on to give you messages, more and more messages about how if we simply taxed these super wealthy people like Jeff Bezos, what is it, the top 40?
Mm-hmm.
I think the richest 40 people in America could solve essentially every problem.
Yeah, I just you look at this wealth and you just wonder.
There it is, annual pay for an Amazon worker, 1 pixel. Yeah.
You just wonder why does he hold on to all this money?
I don't know.
Why isn't it just going to fix problems?
I don't know. I mean, here's a good comparison. The orange is still Jeff Bezos, and here's the wealth of Tim Cook, the CEO of Apple.
Which is $625 million.
It's a ton of money. It's just showing the billions that Bezos and Gates and Buffett have. So, I don't know. There must be something.
It's tied up in stock.
Well, not for Bezos. Bezos has a lot of liquid. In fact, he just did a giant sell-off and got a bunch of cash. He sold some of his stock.
Oh, he needed some cash, huh?
I don't know if it's the logistics of giving away that much money. Obviously, I'm not talking about physical logistics.
Mm-hmm.
I'm talking, let's say that Bezos himself wanted to pay for everyone to be tested for COVID, which is one of the things it talks about. Like, everyone in the United States could be tested for COVID for like $1 billion,
Right.
which is 0.5% of Jeff Bezos' wealth.
Right.
Let's say he wanted to.
Mm-hmm.
Who would he cut the check to? Like,
I'll take care of it.
so you're like, well, the biggest entity we have that we can sort of maybe kind of trust with our money that is the government.
Give it to Trump. He'll
Right.
handle it.
When I say sort of lightly,
Right.
anyway.
I wouldn't give it to the government.
So then you're like, okay, well, I can give it to the manufacturers, but then once again, I'm trusting them to do the right thing with the money.
Mm-hmm.
Not because he cares that it's a lot of his money, but because he genuinely wants to do the right thing.
Right.
In
No,
this
I
hypothetical.
understand what you're saying.
So I don't know. There must be something logistically.
Well, he get paid.
Although he could easily, if the United States Treasury can send us all a check inside of 5 days, then I'm sure Bezos could work that out as well. But there are 40 people who are in this type of wealth in America. Now, Jeff is the richest, so he gets all the shit. But the top 40 in America could pay for everything. We're talking no poverty, no COVID,
Mm-hmm.
probably cure cancer, end malaria in Africa, which kills more children than anything.
Mm-hmm.
Like all of these things, guys, they could end everything and not actually feel it in their
Right.
pocketbook. They
Right.
like the fees to trade their stock are probably greater than what would solve these problems. You know what I mean?
Right. Right.
So I shared this to Facebook. I'll share it again. It's not really a normal website. It's mkorostov.
Yeah.
GitHub.
They just take some of your
Right.
probably information.
Right. But it is It
it's
is.
actually a Russian hacking scam or something.
It's one of the best things I've seen to represent scale. You know, I've seen little images that's like a pallet of money is $1 million, and then
Yeah, and you know,
1,000
I
pallets.
I think that that helps people a lot. I got some comments on our last week's COVID
yeah,
stadium thing and how it was like, oh wow, that's
yeah.
you see that visual representation and it kind of makes things
On TikTok, by the way.
yeah TikTok where it got a decent amount of views. We're coming up in the TikTok.
Yeah, and yeah, it was a very good representation. There was only one person I want to say that got on there who was anti the information. I guess wanted to say how many of them are pre-existing conditions, and I said that's not really relevant.
Yeah, we talked about that.
Whatever.
It's fine.
So
Whatever.
anyway,
On a lighter note here, we dove into that like
well, hey, I
mean,
mean, it's the stimulus, it's the budget.
stimulate me
Yeah,
now.
and if you're a Trump supporter, I dare you to go look at the yearly deficit.
Don't.
I dare you to go tell me that Trump's the best president we've had in terms of deficit.
Well, I mean,
He's had a greater deficit than Barack Obama.
he's not the greatest. He's the second greatest
A
behind
liberal.
Lincoln.
A liberal in a recession had a smaller deficit than a conservative during the, quote, greatest economy ever.
Right.
Think
right.
about that for a couple seconds.
Weird. Okay. So, real quick, I just want to mention this. I don't want to watch any of the videos,
Okay.
but glitter bombs. Do you know the guy who makes the glitter bombs?
Sure. The porch pirate.
Yeah, so
Catcher.
he has this. He's an engineer, and he's made these crazy devices that they look like a box of headphones, and he puts it on people's porches, and they pick it up and they take it home, and all the while being GPS tracked. And there are 4 video cameras or phones that are hooked in there that turn on as soon as the package is picked up, and then when they open it, it sprays fart spray and glitter, and
Fart spray's the best.
it does lights and sirens and all sorts of crazy stuff.
Yeah.
But what bothers me about this, I love it. I love the concept. I think, and you should hear some of the people, man. They're just bad freaking people.
I mean,
This-
you
this-
got to be a piece of shit.
This mom
To-
and her kid are opening it, and the kid's like, "Mom, this feels good to steal." And I'm like, "Oh,
No way.
Yeah.
Oh my god.
Yeah, it was messed up, man. And
Oh man. Yeah.
But-
the audacity is appalling. That you would stop your car and search for it, and then I don't know. It's just
it's anyway.
they're pretty good though. If you've never seen the glitter bomb
Yeah.
guy,
Glitter Bomb 3.0 is this year's.
7, 6,
No, that's not it. Yeah, that's what happens. It counts down and but
someone's gonna do one violent one of these days.
apparently one got picked up by like a gang and got shot up.
So a gang took it, opened it, it did its thing. So then they put it on
And
the
then
ground
they
and just shot it.
took it around town, and then he has the ability now to talk through it,
Oh yeah.
and he did, and then they took it out. I guess they shot him.
Any one of them wanted. Could I have the buds?
Here, this is the kid I was talking about.
Feels good. Steal. Go ahead, take care of whatever. We gotta get rid of this stuff. I think cut this up and get rid of it. Here, we're gonna actually flush this down the toilet.
So no one could find it?
Yeah.
That feels good.
What feels good?
Stealing.
Stop. Don't brag about it. Nothing.
Wait, what did she just say? Don't get wise about it?
Yeah, don't brag about it.
Don't brag about it.
She doesn't correct him. She just says,
I don't want to get
"Don't-
caught.
Yeah, don't tell anybody." That's like, man, that's a
Unbelievable.
messed up. But what bothers me the most is why does he not have the police go after these people?
I don't know.
He doesn't. He tries to recover the box, and that's it. But he has all this evidence, a GPS location of it. Why not
Does anybody ever ask him in the
I
comments
don't know.
or
I
anything?
haven't looked. There's like a bajillion.
Do we know that
comments.
he doesn't for sure?
Yeah, well, yeah.
It's-
There is.
If I had to guess, it's the police don't care. Because every shipping, like Amazon, everything's insured now. You know what I mean?
Yeah, I guess.
So, that's not to say for smaller operations like yours, if one of your packages got stolen, you don't have insurance, you'd have to just eat it.
Not that big of a deal, but
But it adds up. But
Yeah.
I would guess that's why the police aren't terribly like following him around. You know what I mean? Like aren't terribly concerned with it.
yeah, well, they should be.
It wouldn't be hard. You're right though. It wouldn't be hard to just
He is doing some sort of an operation with police on something a little different though. I don't know. I can't remember. Anyway, but yeah, I just I hate those people, man. Just catch them.
yeah. Have you seen? Speaking of catching strangers, there's an app, and we're gonna age ourselves here because I think a lot of people might be into it already.
MySpace.
And I hope I say this right. Omegle.
I,
OMEGLE.
that is I don't know what that.
Anyway, essentially what it is it's just an open live stream of your face and audio,
Uh huh.
and you just chat with strangers, and anybody can end the chat at any time, and then a new stranger pops in. Okay,
Uh huh.
you can type in interests, so that you're getting people that want to talk about what you want to talk about.
Right.
Okay, but the reason I stumbled upon Omegle is there's a guy a kid on TikTok. He's Apolitical Teen is his handle.
Mm.
He's liberal and he's brilliant and he's a really good debater. And so he posts clips of him debating with white supremacists and
Mm-hmm.
Trumpers and stuff like that. But I happened upon another guy who's
Okay.
he's a Twitch streamer,
Mm.
and he would start up the conversation with his as a type chat.
Mm-hmm.
Okay, and his camera would be angled up, and he would chat with these guys
Mm-hmm.
and say, I'm 14.
Oh boy.
Yeah. So he was trying to find sexual predators,
Uh huh.
and then he would be recording it, and as soon as he had enough in the chat that was like, you clearly are a pedophile,
Mm-hmm.
he would aim his camera down at his face and say, "Gotcha," or something like that. I'm like, oh man, this kid's brilliant, because there are a lot of operations like that around the country.
Oh yeah.
That people fake chat, but talking about the bait glitter box reminded me of this guy I came across who was baiting pedophiles into thinking that he's 14 years old. So
Oh, is that not something?
I know that was frowned upon.
Well, speaking of pedophiles, as you know, Donald Trump last week pardoned a pedophile, did he not? Is that, or what did, I don't remember what Kushner's dad did. Wasn't it
Oh my
something like
gosh,
that?
we talked about it on the show
yeah.
a bunch of episodes ago.
Yeah.
Kushner's dad is a just a piece of shit businessman.
Oh, okay. He's not a pedophile.
But he got into some sort of tiff with his
Dealer.
brother.
Oh.
No, his brother-in-law. So his sister's husband, okay?
Okay.
And he set up hidden cameras in a hotel room and hired a prostitute
Mm.
to bait his brother-in-law into cheating on his sister, on his wife,
Wow.
and got caught. He got caught doing it.
Cool guy.
And all sorts of other fraud. So yeah, Charles Kushner was in prison until this week. Trump pardoned him for these federal. I don't know. They were probably like SEC crimes or something. I don't know for sure.
So I was curious about other controversial pardons because we've given this power to our presidents and they've all used it, I think. I don't know of one that hasn't.
Yes.
And so I found this Insider article with a huge list of pardons. And, I mean, George Washington issued the first pardon.
Really?
He did. He excused 2 men who participated in the Whiskey Rebellion.
Was it a tax?
Wait, what?
Sometimes you do long uhs that just get me. After when it ends, they make me laugh.
Oh.
Whiskey
In
Rebellion.
1795, Washington made the difficult choice to forgive 2 Pennsylvania men sentenced to death for treason after participating in protests known as the Whiskey Rebellion.
Yeah, it was a tax protest. Isn't that funny? That's exactly why the
Wait,
Revolutionary
what were they
War happened.
protesting? The war?
A tax protest in the United States beginning in 1791 and ending in 1794
I see.
under the command of American Revolutionary War veteran James McFarland. I'm assuming it was a tax on whiskey. That's the only thing that makes sense.
No.
Um,
Andrew Jackson, he pardoned George Wilson after he received a death sentence for endangering a life and committing robbery. Yeah. Andrew Johnson fully pardoned every soldier who fought for the Confederate Army.
That's interesting. So Lincoln was assassinated shortly after the war ended.
Mm-hmm.
Andrew Johnson pardoned every Confederate soldier.
That's probably what Lincoln would have done too.
Probably. But I don't know if I would have done it for all of them. You know? When I think of Jefferson Davis,
Uh-huh.
the president of the Confederate States of America, I feel like that's a guy who should probably be tried for treason, you know? Maybe not killed, because I'm not really
It
pro.
says that that a lot of people thought it was too lenient, but he believed it was time for the country to reconcile with the past. I get that. It's kind of like all right, let's just let's put this behind us and move on.
I mean, enough of us have died. If he were to, like I said, if for like infantry, for this regular soldier, yeah, that makes sense. Like you,
But you saying the instigators, the actual full-on traitors that started
Yeah,
it, they probably should have had something.
the president of the Confederate States, the person who wrote the Constitution for the Confederate States, like those people, right? The same people that had we lost the Revolutionary War would have been killed by the British.
Right.
You know, yeah, because if you don't make a show of it, you're not setting the precedent. You know,
It's like this is Family Guy clip here. Hold on, hopefully there's no commercial.
So if I sign this, the war is over, we surrender, and we still get to be dicks forever? Okay, you win.
awesome. Yeah, I did find, I don't know when this was dated. Oh, this is November 24th. All of the pardons by president.
Oh, who has the most?
The most is FDR. Now, he did serve 4 terms.
Oh, he also had the most.
Most requests. No. Obama had the most requests.
Oh, he had the most executive orders.
Oh, yes, that's right. Obama, if I'm not mistaken, he had a total of 212 pardons and 1,715 commutations. If I'm not mistaken, a large majority of those were nonviolent drug offenders
Obama has a lot.
who were black as part of prison and sentencing reformation. It's you can find it in any statistic if you do any 10 seconds of Googling of the sentencing disparity between white and black people for the exact same crime.
Right.
Ounce of weed, some crack. Crack and cocaine is where it really became obvious. But nevertheless, yeah, Obama commuted a ton of sentences and pardoned a lot of people. I don't know what Trump's at now. Do you?
I have no idea.
As of November 24th, he had pardoned 28 people and commuted sentences for 16. I know Clinton had some really controversial
this
ones.
Reagan one is pretty sketchy. President Ronald Reagan pardoned George Steinbrenner, the former owner of the New York Yankees, who was convicted on 14 criminal counts of making illegal financial contributions to Nixon's re-election campaign 2 years earlier.
Reagan pardoned him?
Yeah, and he pleaded guilty to the contributions and obstruction of justice.
Oh, it's a lot like Michael Flynn.
Yeah.
Michael Flynn, dude. Oh, man. He lied to the FBI. He admitted it. And was
Clinton pardoned his half-brother.
But in terms of Trump,
George H.W. Bush pardoned 6 people involved in the Iran Contra arms scandal.
Of course, he was vice president at the time.
That's really funny.
Um,
Did you listen to my American Dad?
no, I didn't listen to it
It's
yet.
in the middle of one of the episodes where it talks about Ollie North. It's a song about it.
Oh no.
You know, I'll play it for you later.
Oh, it popped up on just breaking. He has signed the bill.
Yeah.
Not that you
Check
guys
your bank accounts.
The pardons for the Trump, like Sheriff Joe Arpaio,
Mm-hmm.
that one bugged me. Roger Stone.
Yeah, it's just all his pals.
Anyone involved with the Russia investigation.
I don't know. Looking over these, they all have a bunch of
They all have them.
sketchy, definitely to their benefit or party benefit.
But context is important, you know.
Right.
But nevertheless, the founders left the pardon power in
Clinton
there.
issued 140 on his last day of office.
I'm sure Trump's going to
I pardoned everybody.
just light it up.
Everybody's pardoned.
Man. What did he do the other day? 29?
Oh, did he?
I think it was 29.
Jeez.
Yeah.
Well, speaking of pardons, let's talk about something that we've beat to death, and that is racial names for. Oh, my computer crashed, or my Chrome crashed. Racial names for teams.
Hmm.
Now, earlier this year, before the NFL season started, and after the Black Lives Matter movements and whatnot, the the Washington Redskins changed their name. They
Right.
got rid of the Redskins,
Right.
which is something the owner said he would never do, but apparently he had to cave into pressure from sponsors, big sponsors like FedEx and everything to get rid of the name.
Never say never.
And I will say, out of all, and there's a lot of teams named after Native Americans for some reason, a lot.
Yeah.
I mean, there's still the Chiefs, which, whatever, but the Chiefs, we have the Utes here.
Mm-hmm. The Utes, however, University of Utah pays the Ute tribe.
Yeah, I mean, that's.
Nevertheless.
But I always found the Redskins to be the most egregious out of all of them because
Right.
it's red skin. That's like, what? That, right? I mean,
right. It's, yeah. Yeah, it's.
But last week, the Cleveland Indians announced that they would be changing their name. They're
Yeah.
getting rid of Indians.
Saw that.
And a lot of people are shocked or
Were you?
no,
I'm
not shocked, not surprised. They had recently got rid of Chief Wahoo, which was their super racist logo. They did that a couple years ago. But I wasn't 100% clear if they were actually going to ever change the name. And apparently the people in Cleveland are not that stoked about it. Like, the majority of people would have wanted them to keep the name.
Sure. Which makes you wonder why.
Well, their argument's always like, well, it's paying honor to them or whatever.
I've seen a movement of late to stop using the word Indian.
Yeah, I've stopped. I typically do Native American because
That's what they are.
it's totally stupid why we even called them that to begin with.
It was a mistake that became colloquial,
Right.
and accepted, and so I've seen a movement. Not that it's like derogatory, but people are just like, why are we still?
Well,
doing
yeah,
this?
it's just kind of stupid, you know. Like, why are we doing this when that's not? Maybe make up another name.
Yeah,
if
just-
Native Americans is too long for you, then then I don't know. Natives.
Just natives.
Sometimes
yeah.
I do natives. I mean, I don't know. It just here's a little of this contains.
I really think that white people are from like another planet. Because when we came to America, it was so nice. It was just Indians, and they weren't even Indians. We called them that by accident. And we still call them that. Like we knew in a month that it wasn't Indians, but we just don't give a shit. We came here, they're like, hi, and we're like, hey, you're Indians, right? And they're like, no. No, this is India, right? No, it's not, it's totally other place. You're not Indians? No. Ah, you're Indians. You're Indians for hundreds of years after.
Yeah.
It doesn't make any sense.
It doesn't make sense. And, we knew when the club was created back in, 1800s or something, that wasn't...
I'm just trying to put myself in the shoes of a Clevelander here. I'm a big fan of the Utah Jazz. And the name Jazz makes no sense for Utah, right?
I think they actually didn't...
The Jazz were purchased from New Orleans originally and moved to Utah. So New Orleans Jazz makes sense. Utah Jazz doesn't make any sense. I don't think I would be offended if the Jazz decided to change their name.
No, I wouldn't. I would.
In fact,
I've always wished that they would because I think it's stupid.
And most franchises, when they move now, do change
now.
names.
It used to not be a thing because they wanted the brand recognition, but like the Supersonics,
became the Thunder.
They were the Supersonics because Seattle is where Boeing is headquartered.
Right.
And they moved to Oklahoma where there's not any history of really,
there's not even planes there.
Yeah. They changed their name to the Thunder.
Right.
Which is a much better.
Totally makes sense.
Oh,
yeah.
Trump signed the bill. So yeah, I
know
the NBA has a lot of that though, like the Lakers.
Right.
The Lakers are not there's no lakes in LA.
Where were they from originally? Like Wisconsin?
Michigan. Or it was by the Great Lakes. I think it was Michigan, but maybe I'm wrong. But yeah, I
Has Cleveland, last I saw, they hadn't even come up with.
Yeah, what would you name the team?
For Cleveland.
Steamers.
For those who didn't hear that, because he whispered it, Spencer said Steamers.
Aren't they known for making steamrollers, like the the construction, the equipment.
Yeah. I mean,
is that not right?
Cleveland does have the Browns. I mean, we're putting poo and poo together here.
You're right. It makes perfect sense. What a
The
stupid name that is.
Browns. We gotta look into that one too.
Is that one racial?
I don't know. That you should look into that while I try and find Cleveland. Known as the Forest City, Cleveland serves as the center of the Cleveland Metro Parks Nature Reserve System. The Cavaliers are there, the Browns, and the Monsters.
The Monsters.
Honestly, I'm a little disappointed in Google right now. I put in what is Cleveland known for, and it's not giving me anything good.
Well, here, this is on...
It was reported that the Cleveland Indians have decided to remove the term Indian from their name. Yet we're cool calling the only black people in Utah the Jazz.
Yeah.
That was on last week's SNL.
Right. I don't know. I mean, why not just go baseball related?
Yeah, they don't really do anything in Cleveland, huh? I've been there. It's not a bad city.
No, it's a fine city.
Call them the Rivers. The
Rivers. Cleveland Rivers.
I'm trying to think if that was actually Cleveland or if that was Cincinnati. I can't remember. Did I go to both? Oh, man, I don't remember. Anyway, I don't know. Let's just get rid of all these names, I guess. And,
Has there been... there's not been any suggestions.
You have got to watch the last season of Brockmire.
They're right on Lake Erie. Go with Lakers. That's fine. You're right there.
The Lakers?
Cleveland Lakers. It's a different sport. You know what I'm saying?
In Brockmire, one of the owners sells a team. I think it might be the Indians. And he sells it to Native Americans. And they changed the name to the Settlers. And it's got this guy with his bloody knife. and everyone's all offended. And
Oh man.
oh, there it is. It's a picture of like Washington with a knife on his tongue, bleeding.
Oh, dude, that's terrible.
Oh, it's the colonizers. That's what it is. The
Colonizers.
colonizers.
Yeah. By the way, the Cleveland Browns had a fan contest in 1945, and the most popular submission was Browns, in recognition of the team's first coach and general manager Paul Brown. There you go.
Never leave your name up to a contest.
No, I mean, what? Just go with Paul's. Cleveland Pauls.
It's terrible.
You know they're going to do that, though.
What?
A fan contest.
Oh, probably.
They might rig
They may
it.
have to. I mean, with a city like Cleveland,
Right.
it's like
They might rig it for the best one,
Right.
But because the internet is a great trolling place, so people would definitely vote on the worst name. Pull
Right.
a Sanjaya, if
right,
you will.
right.
Yeah.
Oh man. All right. Well, let's
Oh, I was going to tell you about my trip to Sam's.
Oh yeah.
There wasn't anything interesting.
Oh.
So I go to Sam's Club for the vending business.
Yeah, okay.
To purchase candies and whatnot. And I've seen a lot of videos online of anti-maskers in big box stores, in club stores, throwing fits. And so as I'm walking out, I was curious. And, the gal who scans your receipt to check that you bought everything, I just asked her, I'm like, hey, just a question. Have you had anybody cause a scene here?
Have you had
I'm like, have you had any anti-maskers or someone who doesn't want to wear a mask come in the store and create a scene? And she's like, no, why do you ask? I'm like, I've just seen a lot of it online, and I was curious locally if it had happened.
Right.
And she's like, no, not really. We've had people come in, and then they take it off once they're in. We just ask them to put it back on. Of course, we have masks available for those who forgot. But then she started to tell me about during the paper towel and toilet paper
crisis
rations that she had a guy throw a pack of paper towels at her, like a Sam's Club style, like big.
It's like a pallet.
Right.
Crushed.
She's like, it's clearly labeled. You can only buy one. He's like, fine. I've been waiting 2 weeks for this, and threw the paper towels.
Paper
at her.
towels.
Yeah. So on one
Just
hand,
use a rag, man.
right. On one hand, I'm proud of my local Sam's Club shoppers.
Right.
That no one's done that.
Well, they mainly go to Costco.
Is that
You need
right?
to go to Costco to see the real
I didn't know
stories.
that Sam's Club was higher scale.
It's not, but they're just better people.
The reason I go to Sam's is they have a better selection of individually wrapped goods for vending machines.
Right.
So,
Right. That
anyway.
makes sense. Huh. Okay, well, let's take a break. When we come back, you know what? Let me get our break music.
Sure.
When we come back, we do have some random headlines for you. We also have a new segment we're going to try out.
Who the hell Googled this?
Yeah, that is what it's going to be called. I guess that's it. That'll wrap it up. We got to have a good follow-up episode for our 20,000 views, but
Yeah.
the sequels never lives up to
Sophomore slump,
yeah,
as it were.
like Wonder Woman, which apparently was terrible. I'm not watching DC
And people
movies.
always complain.
Yeah. All right, we'll be back.
We interrupt your regularly scheduled program to bring you these random headlines.
Welcome back, everybody. In case you didn't know, you can find us at the Artake Pod on Facebook, Instagram, Twitter, and TikTok, and the ArtakePodcast.com.
That is true. I forgot to tell you that I now know people who have had coronavirus.
Really?
Yeah. Do you know anyone
Besides
yet?
me.
You didn't have it. I
kidding.
think I had it.
No, not personally.
You do, because Mr. Brent Red.
No.
Well, here's what he said. He said that.
Is he lying again?
No,
Is he doing that thing?
What? He said him and his wife had similar symptoms. They both got tested. She came back positive. He came back negative.
He had it.
So either they both didn't have it or they both had it.
He had it.
But I'm guessing that he had it. And apparently my uncle's whole family had it. And no one knew.
Did Brent have any weird symptoms besides
No,
like
it
the
sounded like it's
fluish
just like
ones?
a cold.
Yeah.
Our first story here. A boy. A 12-year-old boy.
A 12-year-old American boy.
Actually, I don't know if that's. You know how we love to talk about Guinness Book of World Records, and this actually comes out of the United Arab Emirates.
I didn't know they went there.
12-year-old boys?
No, Guinness.
Oh.
Yeah, I like to know the ones that Guinness denies more.
Yeah, now I do too. Now that we know,
really
now what was last week where they
the LED.
Yeah, the toilets,
potties.
but they wouldn't do they wouldn't do the toilets, but they did the balloons being stapled
Right.
down. Anyway, so this 12-year-old boy, he got into the world record book by identifying 39 airlines by the design of their tails.
Come on. They wouldn't do the LED porta potties,
But they'll do
this shit.
I wonder how. Yeah, we need to figure out how.
That's.
So I thought to myself, that actually doesn't seem like that many airplanes
Is this what you
to
sent
name.
me?
Well, I sent you a quiz.
Okay.
But I will say this: in this particular quiz that I sent you has multiple choice.
Okay. Should we start it?
Well, yeah, I already took it.
Oh,
I'll
okay.
tell you what my results are. There are 39 questions here, but after looking at what he would have had to look at was just the design, I was like, oh, I can't do this. So go ahead.
So is it the build or the logo?
It's the logo.
The logo. Okay. Okay. So this
you gotta
is.
scroll down.
Can you identify all the airlines from just the logo on the tail? Scroll to start quiz. Hint.
Does it give a hint?
I don't
Oh,
know.
do it without the hint.
Okay. No, I cannot. Oh, I got this.
Yeah.
That looks like a New Zealand logo.
That's correct.
All right.
We'll do this till you get one wrong.
That looks Brazilian. No. That looks South African. Bam. That looks Hawaiian. So I'm gonna go Hawaiian. Bam. That looks Australian.
So obviously South African Airways.
So I don't recognize this, so I'm just gonna go for it. Yeah, that was a deduced. I deduced that.
You deduced.
Those colors also look South African. Red and green. Red and green. I'm going Emirates. Bam!
That's correct.
This is amazing. Oops. Where did I go? Okay. Let's see. Oh man, there's nothing in that one. I don't think it's British. I don't think it's. I'm gonna go Cathway or Cathay.
Cathay Pacific.
Cathay. Okay. That's an eagle eating a head.
It is, isn't it?
Which clearly would be Aero Mexico.
Yeah, obviously.
Right. Got it. Is that blurred?
It is.
Okay. I'm going to say that's KLM.
It's because their logo's quite phallic. No.
Oh, I wonder what that maple leaf could be for. Air Canada. Looks like a ripoff of another one.
It does, doesn't it?
I'm going to go Qatar. Or Qatar. Oh, wrong. Okay, I got one wrong.
Oh, finally. That was Turkish Airlines.
All right. That's not bad. I did pretty good.
Yeah.
All right.
I got 100%. So suck it.
Fuck off.
Just joking. Keep going.
Oh,
there's
you want me to
some,
there's
there's some pretty crazy ones. You got
Switzerland.
Switzair. You just go.
Oh, just go.
Lufthansa.
Luftwaffe?
Yeah.
Lufthansa.
That's Turkish. They're all black and white unless you print.
Oh, yeah.
Well, anyway.
Anyway.
So this might be a greater feat than I would have anticipated because Google just like airplane tail identification quiz.
Okay. Airplane tail identification quiz. That's the first one you sent me.
Yeah, well, no, go to the images.
Oh, I gotcha.
And put that up there.
Oh, that's way harder.
Yeah.
That's way harder.
Is it on? Put it on the screen. What is this?
Oh, it's on the screen. I think the thing timed out for you. I'll get it back for you though.
Okay.
Yeah.
This is Amazon.
Yeah, finding doing this without multiple choice is
It's
way harder.
nigh impossible. I don't recognize almost hold on. Pull it up here. Come on.
Come on.
Come on. No, we don't want to update right now. Can you believe this?
Come on. Oh, we got the green screen.
Great.
There we
And
go.
I wore my green top.
Yeah, this is way harder. But this was remember the game? There was an app.
Yeah, the logo game.
The logo game.
But there's so many random ones on there that
Yeah, like that. Do that.
Which one?
This.
Yeah, I know Delta, obviously. A&A, that's
I didn't know.
Japanese.
I didn't know Pepsi had an airline here.
That's South Korea. That's Korean Airlines. That's EasyJet is the jet one.
All right, so you might do better than you think.
But there's a lot on there that I don't recognize.
Huh.
Oh, there's United down there and Virgin.
Airplane. I know that one.
Yeah, the airplane.
Yeah.
Anyway, so I don't know. I feel like this is a record that could be easily broken if we did some studying.
Oh, for sure.
So if we want to break a record, how do we get a hold of the Guinness people? Do we just
don't
go
know.
to the grocery store and pick up a bottle of Guinness and
How
there's
to contact Guinness.
a number on there?
How to contact Guinness World Records. You just simply contact us. They have a contact. How to apply for a record. It's right there on their website.
Oh, okay, good.
Yeah.
Let's do it. No.
I will get 40 airlines.
Yeah, I know. I mean, right? I mean,
What we need to do is get the max.
all of them?
All of them, so no one can ever beat it.
That's true.
Right?
It was under a minute too. I forgot that part.
Well-
The record was 39 under a minute.
But our brains are amazing. If you have something memorized,
Yeah.
just go.
I mean, if you got one a second, then you could get
You
60.
get 60. That's how that works out.
Huh.
Yeah.
Interesting.
Mm-hmm.
A magnet fisherman in Birmingham, or the River Tame, outside of Birmingham, England. They were doing some magnet fishing, and they found 19 grenades.
Wow. In one go?
In one go.
They all stuck to each other?
I don't know if it was one pull. He pulled the first grenade out of the water and remained in the same spot and pulled out 19 grenades, which appeared to be from World War II. Those look like American grenades, too. The magnet fisherman noticed 2 of the grenades still had their pins in place,
Well,
leading
I
him
should
to
hope so.
Yeah, if he found 19 of them, they would all still be why were they all there?
Someone had a bad day on that ship
and dropped.
Yeah.
It's a river.
Well,
it's
but
not
it's
a boat.
But big ships can go in the River Thames. What part of it?
It said the River Tame. I don't know.
That's like the giant river that goes through London.
Is it?
Yeah.
Oh.
Yeah. I mean, he was probably carrying them in his shirt. Like,
woohoo! Look at these grenades.
Running to whoever needed them, and tripped and.
Oh well, I'm glad that. I mean, Ori got shot. I mean, I don't mean to get dark.
He probably had 20.
Yeah.
And one went off.
Oh.
Blew the 19 into one spot in the river.
Oh, sad.
Yeah.
Anyway, so now I want to go magnet fishing because
Absolutely.
I've been seeing videos on TikTok of magnet fishers.
Yeah.
And all you need is a giant magnet. How much does a giant magnet cost these days?
I don't know.
$3-4?
I mean, you can go to all $1, maybe.
All $1.
But it's got to be rather
it's
strong.
The Dollar General. Anyway, 19 grenades. Pretty crazy.
2777 King Kong Magnetics, right there on Amazon.
Well, it's gonna be huge then. If it's that's it.
That's it.
I'll order that right
Free
now.
shipping.
Well, obviously.
I mean, if it's Prime.
Well, we could get it tomorrow.
This is a whole kit. Gloves, whatever this lube is, line, and KK starter. That's.
I've heard of a KKK starter.
Right, the starter kit.
The starter kit with the hood and everything. But
right. It doesn't come with the whole sheet. Yeah. 27 down from $34.99.
Wow.
Yeah.
Tuesday. We get it Tuesday. We could be fishing by Tuesday night, Wednesday.
Yeah.
Wow.
Let's do it.
And then we can report it. We can be okay. Yeah.
Yep.
Yeah, I'm doing
it. Yep.
A Nepal-based airline said a plane landed at an airport 250 miles from its intended destination due to a communications mix-up.
Now, you've flown planes.
I have.
How does this happen? So they ended up at a different
to
airport.
be fair, I've never flown that far at that high of altitude.
So they didn't just land like in the desert. They landed
Yeah,
at another
they landed
airport.
at the wrong airport. They landed in the southern city of Janakpur.
How does an airport? What's an airport's call sign? Like if I was in the air talking to an airport, and I'm like, "This is flight 171 to," is it just Salt Lake City?
It depends. It'd be who you're talking to. I mean, you'd have to turn into the right frequency, and then if you're just like a private pilot flying into Ogden or Provo, you just contact the tower, Ogden Tower.
So you could say Ogden before, though.
Yeah.
So what I'm thinking here happened is in the massive amount of communication between the plane and the pilot, there was interruption in the frequency at the beginning of the call sign every time. So they said, flight 171, we're good to go. Runway 11.
Now, I've heard of stuff like this happening when they go to the wrong city that's named the same or something. In fact, I've heard a lot of stories from flight attendants and pilots about passengers who book a ticket to the wrong city, and they wonder why their ticket to Paris, Texas was so cheap.
Why is this an 18-hour flight? I bet you that happens so much.
Yeah, I bet it does too. And what are you gonna do? Like, what are you gonna tell that passenger?
Right.
Oh, you're stupid.
You're in contact with ATC like the whole flight, aren't you?
No. I mean,
but they give you a bearing, and then they tell you when you need to adjust that bearing.
No, not necessarily. You have a flight plan that you follow. As soon as you're out of the airport, the departure control, you normally are on your own navigation.
Okay. Even in a big, like an Airbus?
Yeah,
like a big
especially. I mean, more so in those than
they don't just set a bearing and go. Like the pilot has a little more.
I mean, they do. They set a flight plan, and the plane pretty much flies itself to the various points.
Sure.
But the ATC follows them. They'll do a flight following, but they won't necessarily. They may not even be on radar.
Well, yeah, you're too far away.
Right.
I don't know how far it goes.
It's I don't know how this happens.
It's weird.
But it's not the first time it's happened, and this happened here locally once.
This dude's like, oh, they planted more trees. They finally restriped the runway. This is great.
I actually, the other day, I stumbled upon a news story. I don't remember why, but it was the C-17s that fly in here sometimes, the big cargo Air Force planes.
Yeah, they're huge.
A guy was in somewhere in the Middle East, and he was supposed to land at an Air Force base, but he ended up landing at a local. They're really close to each other.
Oh man!
And as soon as he got on the ground, he's like, "Oh my gosh," because this is a massive plane and it's full of cargo, and so they had to like skid. They go all the way to the end of the runway,
right?
And then it takes like a couple days because they have to offload all the cargo in order for the plane to get up and fly the like half mile to the next airport.
They were going to try like an Iran thing where they put the jets on it. You know? Why didn't he just like throttle it back up and just go? He didn't realize till after he was after he had halfway down the runway.
That he touched down first. Otherwise, he'd probably like, "Oops, don't mind us."
Air traffic control's like, "What the hell are you doing?"
But no one was hurt, I guess. But they said the pilot's pride, obviously. What does the Air Force do after that? Like, hey, look, John, we're going to take you off the line for a little bit.
Yeah, we got to.
You can't be landing the C-17s on 2,000-foot runways.
We're going to have to put you on flashlights.
Yeah.
You can guide them in for a bit.
Okay, two things. First of all, did you know that at some of the smaller airports, they turn off their airport lights at night? But when you're flying, you turn into the radio signal and you tap the mic button.
Yeah, like Morse code.
Yeah, and they turn on. It was super cool. We were flying over.
Like automatically?
Yeah.
There's not like a guy that just sits
No,
there
no,
and
they just turn on.
sits there and waits
we
for
were
a tap.
we were flying over like South Utah. Or I can't remember where we were, but my instructor's like, yeah, turn to this frequency, tap it 3 times, and this boom, all these lights just
That's
come on. I'm like,
cool.
whoa.
That's
It's
awesome.
crazy. Second of all, this wrong runway thing has happened here in Utah to a Utah Valley University student
Dude, he landed the base.
who landed at Hill Air Force Base
lucky
instead
he
of
didn't get-
Ogden.
Yeah, he's lucky he
Which
didn't get shot.
is just fair. The airports are incredibly close. In fact, you have to fly over Hill when you're landing
Right.
on your final approach to the airport.
Right. As the crow flies, I mean, there may be what, like 3 miles
Probably.
as the crow flies.
It's,
Like
it's
they're
seriously from the air. It's almost negligible. Like it's, especially a
But wouldn't-
small plane like that.
Wouldn't you be receiving traffic?
No, at that point, it was at night, I believe, and then you're typically the smaller airports. The tower will leave, and then you're just self-calling.
No, I mean, wouldn't the base be like?
Not if you're
what are you
not
doing?
if you're on that not on their frequency. So he's on Ogden's frequency, trying self-announcing Ogden like Ogden. Ogden airspace. This is Wolf 327 on final. No one.
I feel like the base could hail all frequencies, though. It'd be
I
like,
don't know
what are
if
you
that's a
doing?
thing.
We're gonna scramble. We're gonna scramble. our
I guess
jets.
he was met at gunpoint. I don't know how that played out for him, but
Sorry, we have to dismantle your plane.
Yeah.
You got to take it piece by piece to the Ogden Airport. You can't take off from
yeah,
here.
all the secrets.
Right. Imagine
know.
being able to say, I took off from the Air Force Base in my little Cessna.
Yeah. Little 2-seater,
Yeah.
120 mile per hour airplane. We got there. That's funny.
That would be scary, though.
That's why I stopped flying. I feel like that's definitely something I would do.
Oh, for sure. Or land the wrong way on the runway. Like
I mean, that's not that big of a deal. The runways go both ways. You
I
know that, right?
But you know, they tell you to come in one way, and you.
I had to circle around mid-air once.
I know. I thought they had, the spikes that go down when you run over the runway, and then they flatten your tires.
You
like the parking
you roll
lot.
over them, your plane just like explodes. And boom. Is that really necessary, John? Oh man. Anyway, that's random headlines. You know what I don't have yet for this new segment.
Who the hell Googled this?
But you know what I do have is our France music, which really, I mean, fills in for anything. I just love the France music.
I do too.
Mm.
So, this is a new segment we just came up with tonight, in which we Google a phrase, a partial phrase, to see to see what people on Earth are Googling.
Partial last night.
All right. So the phrase that Spencer came up with for the first one is "can a carrot." So we're going to type in "can a carrot" and
This is
see what
exciting.
Google comes up with here. Okay. Can a carrot kill you? Can a carrot be used to extract DNA?
What the hell?
Oh, look at these two. Can a carrot cause constipation? 2 more down. Can carrots cause diarrhea? The answer is yes to both of those. So that's kind of cute. What was the other one?
What else can we do?
You said, "What color is my?" So let's try. Oh, I don't know what I just did. What color is my aura?
Oh, my lightsaber.
Lightsaber.
Personality.
Parachute. Okay, these are okay. We were trying to
You
get
know, let's tell why we came up with this. I mean, back in like episode 2 or 4 or 10, I have no idea.
What was the story? We were talking about
No idea. I really wish we had the context for this because I have no idea why we were talking about it.
somehow semen came up.
Like it does.
Right. And I think I typed
You know,
in
we were talking about politics, and I was like, "Hey, have you ever tried semen?"
So I typed in, I believe, is semen. And
Do it.
oh, you want me to do it right now?
Obviously.
Oh, okay. What we got back then was, is semen a protein? And here we go. Is semen good for you?
Yes.
Acidic. Oh, there it is. Protein. Is semen vegan?
No, obviously not. You're missing the point of vegan.
Is semen an
Is
antidepressant?
cow semen vegan?
Is it an
Good
antidepressant?
for acne.
Yes, it's an
Oh
antidepressant.
my gosh.
Oh, gross.
Yeah, that is gross. Oh, babe, can you come over here? My acne's flaring. Oh.
What the hell are you doing in there? Oh my gosh. All right.
Oh.
Well, that has been.
Is it sterile? If it was sterile.
That has been. Who the hell Googled this?
If you have a suggestion, don't Google it. Send it to us. We'll do it for you. You know, if you're on that work computer and you're like, I probably shouldn't Google.
Yeah, let us do it for you.
How long is? Go ahead, type that in and see what that comes up.
Oh, how long is? Oh. How long is COVID
We
contagious?
need better than this.
How long is a life sentence?
How long is a 5K?
How long is a soul? I don't know. Oh, how long is a 5K? Come on.
It's 5K.
Unbelievable.
They want it in American.
We'll try and think of some better phrases. It was a first go at a new segment, but we'll definitely do it again.
We haven't. We've left a lot of segments behind lately, like the Wheel of Spencer thinks about.
Oh yeah.
I've only got like 3 left, and they're all not my favorite. So.
Well, I wanted to talk about Nashville.
Oh yeah, let's do that real quick.
Let's change gears to a not so.
Well, it's not a bad story. I mean,
so if you didn't know,
nobody
died except for.
Yeah, but
Yeah.
obviously that was his.
Well,
I
but that's
don't
weird.
know.
It's weird.
The whole thing is very strange.
There was an explosion in Nashville, if you didn't know, on Christmas morning. It was an RV, and the RV played an announcement before it exploded saying, if you can hear this, evacuate, for like 15 minutes or something like that. And then, of course, it exploded. No one died until they found out that there was a person in the RV, so essentially a suicide bomber.
Right. But not the bad kind.
Well, how do you define it?
Well, he didn't
He didn't want to hurt anybody,
He didn't
obviously.
scream Allah Akbar and then blow himself up. Can you imagine if the suicide bombers did that? Attention, everyone!
You're going to want to
Attention!
evacuate.
You want to leave the area. Allah Akbar, I'm going to blow myself up.
But it's just weird because of all the ways to do it. I mean, we were talking about a car wash last episode,
I do. What does that have to do with bombs?
Committing suicide.
Oh, yeah.
I'm just there's conspiracies already out there that
Drown in the
he was
car
by an AT&T transfer station to knock out communications for a bit.
For Nashville?
I guess.
Is there something about Nashville we don't know that's intricate to the U.S.'s security?
But the question that you always ask yourself when something like this happens is, what am I being distracted from?
What am I being distracted from?
I don't know. That's what you have to ask. And that's how you answer whether or not it's a conspiracy. What's going on right now that this should possibly distract us from?
Christmas.
Namely in Tennessee. I don't know if there's many.
Nothing. The election in Georgia?
Maybe.
Georgia?
I don't
can't.
know.
There's nothing really newsworthy that we know about, unless that's the point.
I mean, the whole thing, right? The whole election. Could it be?
Do you think that's?
Are we going to find out that this guy
is a Trump supporter
or
that
a
had
Biden
lost
supporter?
face?
Yeah, I don't know. I'm not a conspiracy
It's just
theorist.
super weird.
It's really weird
because it doesn't seem to have any motive other than to kill himself.
Right.
Unless he just wanted to go out with a bang and be on the news.
I think I did hear that or read that he was familiar with electronics. Like he could have. It was within his knowledge base to wire up like the message and a bomb.
Okay.
So to speak. But it's really weird.
It is strange. Quite. Why did he do it? Tell me.
I don't know.
Huh.
But more importantly, what is it distracting us from? I don't know. It could be nothing. It could just be a guy that just killed himself.
It's distracting us from the fact that semen can be used for acne treatment. Big Acne doesn't want you to know
Big acne.
that it's such an easy solution
Oh man,
to clearing it up.
this might be a throwaway.
The whole episode?
Yeah.
Yeah. Maybe.
I don't know. I'm just kidding. Anyway, we'll talk more about Nashville as more news comes out, maybe next week or whenever we record again. But it's certainly weird.
You mean if we ever record again?
If we ever record again, because we did have a pact early on that 103 would be our limit. So
That was I don't know. Oh man. Okay. Well, thanks for
thanks for
are we
listening.
done?
I think we're done.
Yeah, we should probably be done.
Yeah, we're done. Thank you so much for all the love on TikTok, for real though. And if you haven't, please go follow us there. We try and post cool stuff there.
We need to make money so we don't have to work anymore.
Mostly that. But
Well,
there's
not
cool-
work, but
right.
I don't know.
Disposable.
Yeah.
Yeah. Find us at The Arctic Pod on Facebook, Instagram, Twitter, TikTok, and thearcticpodcast.com for episode 103. I'm Brian.
I'm Spencer. We'll see you next time.